Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And now that summer's kicking into gear, I have got kind of a general movement of some of my shop gear and tools into the outdoors, particularly with overlanding, which I love to do. And I had made a video about this guy, tremendous performer for the outdoor world, for camping, for overlanding, for working on your vehicle, or just area lighting. Nice solid choice and affordable. But I also took this guy on my latest trip and gave it a shot out in the wild. It's an interesting light. It does throw about 1,000 lumens according to the specs on it in a very wide flood, and that is truly amazing. Compared to compared to the Klein, this Snap On really lights up an area with a nice, although also adjustable, tone of light. But I did notice some quirks with it. First of all, this thing turns on very easy. Almost always when I was grabbing it, I turned it on, just like that. It's just one little tiny touch, and it takes a bit to shut it off. But if I just bump this switch, it's on. Another thing I noticed is this clamp. It's very strong, hard to work, which I guess is what you'd want, to have a clamp stay on. But you can't operate it one-handed very easily. I can't really stretch this thing out, which means it takes two hands to grab something. So in confined spaces, or when you're setting up an area or something and you've got one hand kind of occupied, this one, I can turn on, I could flip down, I could stick it to a source and then get back to work. This guy, on the other hand, is a little more challenging. First of all, in order to really, whoops, see, I just turned it on again. That is just crazy. And it takes a while to turn off. I mean, like on, instant. Off, let's see. 1, 2, 3. So at least 3 seconds of holding this down, which is a pain, especially if you didn't mean to turn it on. But anyway, first of all, to use the clamp, you pretty much need to move this thing out of the way. Which now it's off balance. This one, you can actually quickly adjust it so it sort of stays in balance. This really has good balance point on when it's not using the magnets. It's most secure in this position and in this position, but anywhere in between, and it's somewhat unstable. So first of all, you got to move this out of the way. And then you have to use two hands to grab, one on each side of this clamp and yank it. And because of the amount of force here, it's a little bit difficult to get it into some positions. As you're trying to snap it onto something, or in the car, or you just quickly want to, hook it on some ledge or whatever. It's hard to use. Not near as convenient. Once it's on, it's pretty good. The magnets are plenty strong for most flat surfaces. I did notice, and I noticed it with this as well, like if it's on the rounded edge of the top of a pickup cab, or the corner, because sometimes, like on my Tacoma, the bed is actually a composite material, so there are just a few spots where I can actually snap something magnetic into the bed area. This one really prefers a flat surface. Especially because it's got the two magnets on either side. So if it's a curved surface, one of them might not be in full contact. Another thing I noticed, which is I guess a good thing, is when it's on, even if it's on its lowest setting of 10%, it's still pretty dang bright. It's a 100 lumen flood, basically. And when it's very dark out, that's actually a lot of light. And so you're not going to be reading by this unless it's far away. But it is a good solid amount, and then if you crank it way up, full power, it is a nice camp light. It's 1,000 lumens. The old Coleman lanterns, if you recall those guys, the gas lanterns, those were around 700 to 800 lumens. They were very bright in the center, but their light didn't really go very far. So they were a little tough. It was like having a sun in the middle of your camp. It was blinding. But not near as useful. I also was worried about scratching the lens. So I wanted to make sure I kept it in a some kind of a container. I ended up using this old pouch that I have. This offers pretty good protection as far as sliding over things. I think Klein could or I could even modify it, could make a few adjustments in this to make it just a stellar overlanding light. Some of the other ones I've always used, traditional flashlights. I was always quick to just grab the old work lights in the old days. I've had this one forever. This was actually my first big jump from the Milwaukee lights into outdoor lighting. I've got a few others that aren't here, but then this became kind of my standard. And this one I really like. It's just a little bit awkward and big. The battery platform is good because you can adjust it according to your needs. Is it a one-day trip or a multi-day trip? Are you using it for other things? But this actually has a lot of good features. I'll do a video on this. But I was really hoping between these two, that I'd solve a lot of the problems. And this one, as much as I like it for its light, the easy on is a problem because I can turn it on easy even in this case. And then trying to operate this clamp. I thought maybe could there be some kind of a grip on this side that would allow you to spring it open so you could one-handedly put it on something. It's dang near impossible to get on anything one-handed. Try to wedge that on without sending it flying across the desert. But anyway, once it's on, great. I would often put this one on the back of the cab pointed towards the bed, and I didn't have a topper on at that time. And it would just light up the entire area, the entire bed of the pickup, the edges of the pickup, just great. If I turned it sideways and was using it, say straight off a door or a cab, this is plenty for a good camp light. And you can use these down below too to light up the under or the lower area, so you're not blinding anybody. It gives you a real low light signature, but it also gives you plenty of safe walking around the vehicle. So that's nice. You just have to remember to not leave it there because it certainly won't stay on if you're driving around. But anyway, is it worth it? I don't know. This thing was a little over $100 without a battery. This thing was about 117. It's USB-C chargeable. I wish it had the phone charging like this, just in case I wanted something else. It does have the other colors. I haven't used those yet. I plan to. But I do find just that good solid work lights are in many ways better and more affordable than a lot of outdoor lights. Because I want to stick with quality name brand ones. I'm starting to really like the rechargeable aspect because I can charge it during the day. I generally don't kill the batteries in one day. But I don't bring a charger with me. I guess I could, to charge these back up. So it's kind of nice. It's like a cell phone. Just top it off. Anyway, it's a winner with a couple of drawbacks. And with that, Doc out.